Happy Thanksgiving. I'm Patricia Grabarek.
And I'm Katina Sawyer, and welcome to the Workr Being podcast. So today we are going to be talking about being thankful since it's near Thanksgiving, or it is Thanksgiving actually. If you're listening to this, it is Thanksgiving. And so we're going to be helping you to focus on what you're thankful for in a scientifically based way.
Yes, gratitude is super important. We've talked about it before many times on our website. We talk about it in our social media posts, and it has so many strong links to wellness. And Katina, I know you've done some reading and research in this area recently. So do you want to help us understand a little bit more about what gratitude is?
Yeah. So gratitude is kind of two different things that you're processing. It's sort of understanding that there are good things that are happening around you and noticing those good things. So it's like, oh, I see the good things that are around me. And then also that the things that are giving you those positive benefits, or the people or the reason that you have those positive benefits, are for very pro-social, like good reasons. So like, it's not like, oh, someone did a favor for me and I'm going to be like, well, what was their angle? The idea is that you're recognizing good things around you and you're noticing that it took some effort or positive intentions for somebody else to take the time to do that favor instead of being cynical about the favor, if that makes sense. So it's kind of two components: noticing things and also feeling like, you know, that person really went out of their way and that was a nice thing, not like, well, I bet they did that to make themselves look better, or whatever the case may be. Yeah.
That makes sense. So it's not just noticing it. It's that piece that's the gratitude, right? The thankfulness, the appreciation, instead of the cynicism and doubt on the action.
Yeah.
Or whatever happened.
Yes, exactly. Yep. So those are the two things. If you notice someone did something nice for you, but you're always thinking like, well, it probably was because of this or that, and you're not thinking about the positive intentions that person probably had when doing the favor, you won't actually benefit from noticing it. But if you are thinking about things positively, when you notice them, then you get the benefit from gratitude.
Awesome. And what are the benefits from gratitude? Do you have any off the top of your head that you can spew out at us?
Yeah. Being more grateful is related to, well, in the workplace, it's related to better job attitudes. So if I notice things that people are doing and I'm feeling more grateful towards individuals around me, I'm more likely to be, happy with where I am. I'm more likely to be happy with the people around me. And you're also just less likely to be stressed. And you're more likely to persist in the face of challenges because you perceive yourself as having more resources. So instead of, feeling like, oh, I'm alone in this fight to kind of get through my workday, you're noticing like, well, no, I have colleagues around me that are, willing to help, or I'm grateful that my company has a positive environment that I work in. So even though I might be dealing with something difficult today, I'm not getting totally downtrodden and unable to continue moving forward. So it has to do with, being able to continue to perform under tough conditions, as well as just generally being happy with where you're at.
Awesome. Okay. And then we know also that gratitude has impacts outside of the workplace too, in terms of your physical and psychological well-being. So there's a lot of research on that as well. So really, gratitude is great everywhere. You want to be thankful about your life and about your work so that you're feeling good in all aspects of your life.
Yes, absolutely.
So today we wanted to do a little exercise. We thought it would be helpful to kind of practice what we preach. And so we found a little prompt from a gratitude exercise by Emmons and McCullough, and we'll link to the article. It was published in 2003. And so I'll read the prompt. I'll put the prompt in the show notes. So for those of you that were on the go and driving or taking a walk or a jog or whatever as you're listening, you could definitely think about these things and use that as your exercise. But we do know that writing it down can be very helpful as well. So if you want to come back to this, then press pause or come back to the show notes to get the actual prompt. And you can do this on your own time when you're sitting down and able to write this down. And if you are at home or somewhere where you can write something down. Maybe take out a piece of paper so you can participate in this exercise as well. We want to think about what we're grateful for. So, are you ready, Katina? I'm going to start with the prompt.
Yes.
Perfect. Okay. So, there are many things in our lives, both large and small, that we might be grateful about. Think back over the past year and write down on the lines below up to 5 things in your life that you are grateful or thankful for. And again, you can think about it if you don't have something to write it down. So, Katina, do you want to give me your 5 things?
Yeah. So I don't know if I'm going to be able to do all 5 right away. So maybe can we alternate?
Yes.
Like I
alternate.
do one and then you do one and then I'll do one, because I feel like I'm thinking of a lot of things, but I want to like hone my ideas, and maybe something you say is going to like jog what I want to say.
Okay.
So the first thing that came to mind when I was thinking of what I was grateful for is I am grateful that I have a partner who is very supportive of my work and life, because he's constantly helping me to fill in the gaps with things that I need to sort of support the fact that, as with both of us, we have full-time jobs, and we also are doing a side business that we're really passionate about. And so like he cooks all the meals and he walks the dog and he goes grocery shopping and does all this stuff to kind of keep our household moving. And he's never like, don't take that meeting, don't go on that trip, don't go to that conference. Like, very supportive of my success, and also very happy to hang out and have downtime when I'm around and just focus on that. So I am grateful for that.
And he was a great caretaker when you broke both of your feet.
Yes, that's true. Yes, that's true. Oh my gosh, it seems so long ago, but that was this year in fact. Yes, that is absolutely correct.
Well, mine is sort of similar, my first one. So clearly we're very thankful for our partners.
Yes.
And I mean, I got married this year, so I'm very grateful for everything around that journey, for all the people that supported and loved us, and showed up for our bachelorette parties and my bridal shower, and, just provided all of their support and their love. And for the people that flew all the way to Hawaii, I'm very, very grateful for all of the love and amazingness that happened around the wedding. I mean, it was such a perfect few days that I was able to spend so much time with people. So I'm very grateful that we had that opportunity to be there together with everybody. And obviously I'm very grateful for, for Danny for proposing and being there and doing all this. So that, and, I would second all the support stuff too, but I think that's kind of a second one. So I'll just stop at the wedding for this one.
Yeah. The year that you get married, certainly being grateful for being able to marry the person that you're married to is a very good thing.
Yeah, I think so.
So my second one would be that last year was kind of my first full year as a faculty member at GW. And I think that I'm thankful for the gift of time that gave back into my schedule, because I was really being pulled in too many different directions in my prior position. And I feel like I was spending a lot of time doing things that I wasn't really passionate about, just because there was an expectation that, that is how faculty members in general should spend their time, but specifically people who are, oriented towards helping behavior, particularly got a lot of things to do on their to-do lists in that environment. So I'm really grateful that I'm now in a role that allows me to have a lot more flexibility and a lot more time to focus on doing things that I really care about and that I'm really passionate about. It has made a huge difference in my work-life balance, as well as in just how I feel on a daily basis in terms of being energized by the work that I'm doing. So I am very grateful for that.
I love that. I mean, I'm grateful too, because that gives me more of your time for Workr being. So that's awesome for both of us. My second one, so I talked about the wedding and all the love from all the family and friends, but I do want to call out Danny specifically for the same kind of things that you were mentioning, the support. Obviously, as you mentioned, we've got a million things going on, and I think it's really important to have somebody that's not discouraging you taking time away from them for passion projects.
Mm-hmm.
And I appreciate that he is supportive of all of it. He gives me lots of feedback and ideas. Obviously, Katina, as you know, he is our graphic designer.
Yes.
So I am grateful for the logo. I'm grateful for
Absolutely
a retreat flyer he's literally currently working on across the room from me.
It's awesome.
So I'm very grateful for all of the support, both in terms of the actual content creation for Workr being, but also in terms of just the partner support and letting me live the life I want to lead and never being a block to any of that. So I really appreciate that.
We have unselfish people that we're married to, which makes me happy.
Yes, I think I'm much more selfish than he is. So
yeah, me too. maybe they wouldn't be as great. Maybe that wouldn't make their gratitude list. Oh boy. So the third thing that I am grateful for is that I have one of the things that I think was a concern when I moved to DC, even though it's not that far from Philadelphia, of course, was that I wouldn't be able to spend a lot of time with family or friends. And I think that was a concern that, Brendan and I kind of both shared. And I have to say, I'm grateful for the fact that I have been able to, partially because of my schedule, but also partially because a lot of my friends and family were willing to also take trips to visit us, that people have been really great about coming to see us and stay with us. We had multiple friends come visit over the course of the last year. Family members come visit. When I broke my feet, friends of ours from grad school came, friends from college came to visit, my cousins came to visit, my family came to visit, and that's just one small pocket of time. So I'm really grateful that people are willing to take the time to come see us and that we have been able to take the time to come see other people. And I think that, that was a concern that we had. And as it turns out, we don't feel like we're so disconnected being down here because people have been so wonderful about taking time to come see us. And that has been nice.
I love that. Well, my third thing, and Nittany came over to remind me, I think. She's sitting here listening, and she's like, Mom, what about me?
Excuse me. Rude.
But I am very thankful for my aunt and uncle who were crazy support systems when Nittany was sick. Being able to stay with them for a month, I mean, that is quite an imposition. And they were so kind and so generous. And I mean, honestly, it felt like they loved having us there the entire time, which to me, I think I would go crazy if someone was with us for 30 days. So I loved that and I appreciate that. And I appreciate all the help that they were there for us, and obviously appreciate that Nittany's doing well.
Yeah. Nittany. And Donnie's sitting here listening to that right now, and he's hoping I'm going to say that I'm thankful for him, but I'm not going to. I am thankful for him, but he doesn't make the top 5. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, poor Donnie.
So Nittany's a special little cat.
Nittany gets a point. Donnie does not.
Yes. Nittany's a special little cat. I mean, I love Donnie, but nothing particularly. He hasn't gone out of his way to be particularly great this year. So try harder next year.
Well, I think with Nittany, it's more of the fact that she tried hard to make our lives miserable, and the fact that she's okay now. That's what we're grateful for.
That's true. That is true.
It wasn't her fault. Stupid cancer.
Yeah.
But anyways.
Yes. But Nittany's sailed through with flying colors.
Yes.
So the fourth thing that I would say I'm grateful for has been the continued growing support of the people in our audience. And you can take this one too if you want. Like, I'm sure we were both thinking of that, but yeah, I just think that since we started, we have seen consistent growth. And even though we're both people that are somewhat impatient about waiting for things to happen and wanting to sort of just like overnight be like, oh my gosh, like everything that we wanted exactly how we wanted it is coming to life. That is not realistic. So I think that what I'm really grateful for is that, unlike maybe some other things that I've seen or stories that I've heard, we have really had a steady pattern of consistent growth in followership, listeners, engagement. And that's all due to the people who are listening right now, and to the folks that read our posts, and people who are willing to spread the word about what we're doing. So I'm really grateful that people are willing to give their time to us. And that they're also willing to recommend us to other people. And it's really nice to be able to put something out there that you care about and see other people respond positively to it. So I think just at a basic level, I'm grateful that people seem to like what we're doing. But at a higher level, I'm really happy that that has resulted in a lot more people being involved with our brand, which is great.
Yay. Yes. I mean, I feel like I need 10 things. I'm starting to realize
yes.
I'm running out of.
Oh
I'm
no.
almost at 5 and I don't know what else to do. There's too many. Well, on that note, since we're talking about Workr being, I mean, I don't even know where to start. I'm just so grateful for you to be on this journey with me. I'm so grateful that you and I have such a good working relationship besides a friendship. Like, I think it's amazing that we have been able to continue being really close friends and have a business and still like each other.
Yeah.
And
yes.
I mean, I can't imagine it have working out any better. I'm grateful for everybody that's following us, listening to us, being a part of Workr being. So it's basically like, I'm thankful for Workr being. I'm going to make the blanket one for my number 4, because I can't break out the things inside it that I'm most grateful for, because I'm grateful for all of it. I'm grateful for all the unique experiences, the cool people we've gotten to meet and talk to. I'm grateful for the fact that we're doing these things. Like, everything about it is exciting. So I'm grateful for all of Workr being. That's my number 4. All of Workr being, everything that entails.
Well, and I'll just like add to that then, because my 5th one was going to be that I was going to say that I was thankful to work with you, but I'll like put that into this as well. And think of a different 5th one, since we're making Workr being the 4th one. But I think it really is like important to call out, because people don't like have an inside view into what happens on a daily basis for us to be able to do this. And honestly, like, you're so organized, everything's always up to date, you're always on top of everything. Like, it's impossible to make this work unless things are structured and people are committed to making it happen. And it's never been a question from the very beginning whether you're, committed to making this happen, and whether you're, on board with really doing what needs to happen to make it work. And, I can't imagine what it would be like working with somebody who didn't have that kind of, was constantly canceling stuff, or didn't want to make progress, or wasn't available for calls, or was forgetting things, or what, you know what I mean? Like, I think there's a lot that goes on we record every week and we post every week, and we've been doing that since we started. And when, not to be like, oh, whatever, like tooting our own horn, but when I tell people that, and we have a full-time job, and we're doing a retreat, we're doing all this other stuff, like, we're really spending a lot of time and energy putting content together because we're passionate about it. But that can't happen unless, I'm working with somebody that is like uber organized and excited. And so I am very grateful that you have always been from day one just like, let's do this, and super great about keeping on top of everything. So that has been awesome.
Love Fest right
Yes.
back at you. I can't imagine working with anyone else without your work ethic. I mean, you are a workhorse. I swear. I feel like I don't understand how you fit everything into one day, but you are magic. I think you're
Well,
magic.
we both work a lot. And I think that's part of it is that like we just kind of accept that that's what it takes to do this. And it's not like, oh, you know, we're defaulting on each other or like, you know, oh, I can't get a hold of you or I don't know where you're at or, you know, we're late or behind on things. Like there have been very few times where we have been like, we're behind or we don't know how we're going to make this work or how can we fit this in this week. But like it always happens. So yeah. So I think that all of Workr being both our working relationship and the people that are following us is definitely something to be grateful for.
I'm adding a 4A or B or C or whatever this is because I have other things for number 5 that I also want to mention. We also have to shout out to Allie.
Oh, totally.
Because Allie Johnson, our producer, is obviously part of Workr Being, so I'm going to put her into the number 4 bucket. But
yes.
She is phenomenal. She is so good at making this content work and making sure we sound good and giving us feedback as to when we're being kind of nuts about things. And
yes.
I mean, we couldn't do what we do with the podcast without her. I mean, she is the magic behind the podcast.
Yes.
For sure.
Yes. Like we cannot edit stuff and we don't have skills at making things sound good like that. So yeah, our podcast would be a hot mess if it wasn't for Allie. So that is very, very true. And I could not agree more.
Plus, she's so lovely and fun.
She is so lovely and fun.
Yay.
It's like jackpot lottery of people to work with.
I know. It's so great.
Woohoo!
Well, okay. Love Fest of Workr Being for number 4.
Yes. Yes.
So what's your number 5 then?
I think that my number 5 is that I have been able to recover from my injury without having like a broken spirit because a lot of people were so kind and gracious in dedicating their time to helping me. So like I'm really grateful even like for the people at PT that took a really like long time to like get to know me as a person and understand what my goals were and work with me on that. Like I'm grateful to you that you were like cool about the fact that I had to not be at your wedding. Like that was such a bummer, but all of the I'm grateful that, you know, I'm grateful that I have health insurance that covered this like extraordinarily costly thing. Like all of the things I'm grateful that when I was on vacation with my friends, when I broke my feet, that everybody was super nice to me and didn't like freak out that I ruined the trip, you know? So like all this kind of stuff that it could have been a really, really terrible experience. And I feel like everybody was just kind of so nice about it and took it in stride and was so helpful in making me feel better and keeping good spirits about it that it just kind of like went by and it feels like, okay, that happened, but it didn't like define the year that I was like in bed for a month and like couldn't walk right for a long time and blah, blah, blah. So I feel very grateful that that occurred.
Yeah, well, I am amazed by you throughout that whole process. I feel like I would have been a mopey mess. So it's to your credit as well.
Mopey mess is a funny term.
Mopey mess. That is my term for what I would be in that situation. Wouldn't it be pretty at all?
Well, it wasn't pretty over here either. Pretty would not describe
it. So positive. I'm amazed by
you. Well, thank you.
Yeah.
What's your
my
5th?
Number 5. I feel like I'm gonna have a 6th because I'm gonna say this one for number 5, and then I'm gonna give myself a 6th. So
okay,
because if I don't say this, and my mother who listens all the time, she will call me out on not thanking her. So Mom and Dad and my sister, I am grateful for my family, my cousin Roxy. There's my close family. My family's very close. And I'm grateful for all of them for always being supportive and, like my mom is like our biggest cheerleader. I feel like she doesn't fully understand anything about IO psychology, but now she feels like she's learning it and she can talk about it a bit more. So that's fun as she's listening to the show. And yeah, so I love that my family is super supportive, and yours is too. So I feel like it's our families.
Yes.
Number 5 can also be
I
our
agree.
families being supportive.
I agree. Yes, I agree. And that's kind of bundled into like my foot thing, as well as bundled into my like gratefulness that people come visit me, because like half of that was like my family coming to visit me too. So yes.
Yeah. I mean, they're amazing. We've got an incredible support system in our family and our friends.
Yeah.
And so I wanted to call out my
Totally.
family specifically. And I guess my second one is kind of a 5B, because I was going to mention, my full-time job at Infor, because not only do I love the job and the people that I work with, but I have a great support system there too. People there are very encouraging and supportive, and they listen to the show, and they really are cheerleaders behind this whole venture as well. And I think that I'm very lucky to have a work environment like that, where people love it and support it, and I feel encouraged versus discouraged.
Right.
I think there's so many places where you can work that having a side gig thing is not looked positively upon.
Totally.
Because people think it's going to impact your work, and as long as you don't impact your work, here at Infor, no one's going to be upset with you for doing something else if you're getting your work done. And I'm obviously going to get my work done.
Yeah.
And so I appreciate that everyone is just so kind and supportive about it. So shout out to all the Infor peeps that are listening, because they rock.
Yes, they do. Jill like sends us messages all the time. It's so cute.
Oh yes, she is. I think there's a competition between Jill and my mother as being our biggest cheerleaders.
Yeah, and on my side, my Aunt Barb and
your
and
aunt.
both of us and Scadudo.
Oh yes. Oh, Anne. Shout out to Anne. We love you. She's one of our friends from grad school, the fabulous Anne. Anyways.
Yep.
Well, I think we got our list.
We do. So hopefully that helps jog your thinking about your list as well. And something to mention just quickly, if you're having trouble thinking of things on your list, and you're thinking more of things that you don't like about your past year and less about things that you did like about it, gratitude's interesting, because there are some people who are more naturally grateful. And so it's easier for those folks to notice things that are good that are happening around them, and to notice people's positive intentions. But even if you're not a person who naturally notices that, you can intentionally try to become a more grateful person. So by doing exercises like this more frequently, as well as by like setting your intention for the day that you're going to kind of slow down and pay attention to the ways in which people are being kind to you, or going out of their way to help you, or thinking about just things in your environment that you're grateful for, or even, things not related to your work, like your physical health, for example. Like, I'm happy that I feel good today. I'm happy that I'm able to move today. Like things like that. If you kind of set your intention to pay more attention to the good things around you instead of paying more attention to the negative things around you, you can become a more grateful person. So it's actually a practice of gratitude. It's easier for people who are naturally grateful, but you can train yourself to become more grateful. So if you had a hard time with the exercise, or you felt like you were drawing a blank, doing this more frequently and setting intentions at the beginning of each day can help you to increase your gratitude overall.
Yes, that's a great note to end on. Like I mentioned, I will put the prompt in the show notes, so that if you want to practice, we changed the prompt to say a year. It actually says a week. So it could be something you do weekly. I mean, you could change the prompt to a day. It could be that month, whatever makes sense for your cadence. You can take that prompt and just put it in a notebook, and then write down your 5 things each week. And that will get you kind of into that practice that Katina mentioned, so that you can really get to be a more grateful person. And the next year, Thanksgiving, if we do this again, you won't have quite as hard of a time thinking about what you might be grateful for.
Absolutely. Yep. That sounds good to me. Hope everyone enjoys their Thanksgiving. I hope that you're all happy and spending time with family, friends, whoever makes you feel positive, and you enjoy your Thanksgiving meal, which is one of my favorite meals of the year. So I'm looking forward to chowing down.
All the sides. I don't care about the turkey. Give me the sides.
Yeah, me too. I don't even I don't even like the turkey is like totally not on my radar at all.
Yeah, me neither. But before we go, I do want to plug a couple things. So January 26th, Katina will be in LA. So for all the LA folks, listen up. We're going to have an event where we're going to do a little meetup and talk about some ways to start your week better than the last one. But there'll be more details to come of that. So please, if you're interested in some of these meetups or events that we're doing, obviously we talked about the retreat before, which is coming up in April. Sign up for our email list. I will put a link to where you can do that and get more information about these events. And LA folks, block the date, January 26th. Then hopefully we'll see you out and about, and we'll be sending out more information. And we'll talk about it here on the show too. But there'll be more details to come as to what that's going to look like.
Yep. And remember always to keep an eye out for our retreat, which is being held the weekend of April 17th. So if you're unable to make it to the event in January that we're holding and meet us in person, or if you don't live in that area, or you generally just want to get more of our content because we'll be holding a much more comprehensive event, definitely go visit our website and take a look at the retreat because we're really excited about the things that we're putting together and we would love to see you there.
Yes, it will be awesome. So hopefully we'll see some of you at either of these events, one retreat and one event. There'll be more to come in 2020. That's something that we'll be working on, webinars and retreats and events and things like that. So keep an eye out. But you'll learn all of it on our email list if that is something you're interested in. So again, please follow us there. And we'd also love to hear from you. We'd love to hear your gratitude lists if you're willing to share them with us. You can contact us at workrbeing@gmail.com. You can find us on our website, workrbeing.com. And you can connect with us on social media at workrbeing on LinkedIn, Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. Happy Thanksgiving. The Workr Being podcast is hosted by us, Patricia Grabarek
and Katina Sawyer, and produced by Allie Johnson.